What a difference 10 months makes. But we're back at Walsall Bescot Stadium for Revival 2017, the Rivals. I'm just in the hotel next door, parking Radisson, so having a look to see what it's like outside. It was pretty sunny this time last year. It's looking pretty overcast at the moment, but at least the flooding's gone. But anyway, enough waffling. I'm going to go and get in the queue for the early bird entry. Sure, we'll bump into a few familiar faces and let's see what Revival 2017's got for us this year.
Let's have a look at this. Let's hope it rains tomorrow as well,
Oh, they have got to. There's a gentleman playing the Simpsons game. Oh, really? I've seen
we've got their own format, GD.
There's no chance to get on Skype. I reckon literally, even the intro looks amazing.
with you as everyone outside in the audience having an opportunity to chuck in loads of questions, but we've prepared some bits and pieces as sort of topic, pieces of conversation. So, quick potted history. Kind of where did it all start from you and your love of games? You know, where did it kick off?
Well, yeah, from school, obviously. You know, computer clubs back then were very different. You know, you'd go and you'd spend the best part of the evening just programming until you got your name to appear on a screen, and then you'd get incredibly excited because your name appeared on the screen. And it was like that. But I went into art more and design, and I went away to art college in Bath, and we got the first Macs in, the Mac SEs, and we used to have to fill our names in on a rota just so we could use the things. And a friend said to me, you know, what you need is a desktop publishing computer at home. You know, the best computer for that now is a new one Commodore's bringing out called the Amiga.
Okay.
And I'm like, wow, okay, yeah, an Amiga. So I bought an Amiga, and it was the one with it was the Batman pack. And I forked out for the extra 500 megs. It was, and that was it really, and the Amiga was shit for desktop publishing. It was brilliant for games.
Well, I was going to say, hang on. So we all did the excuse that buying a home computer would be for homework and accounts. But you actually did get a computer for the desktop publishing, as opposed to playing
for art. Well,
yeah,
I'd already
Deluxe Paint.
I'd already had a Spectrum and 64 and those kind of things, and you know, Pong and the Atari 2600 or whatever it was units. So we had those for playing. But I wanted to try and make some money out of a computer, and I thought the Amiga would do it for my design work, but actually it went a whole other route. And I started playing on the Amiga, and back then it was hard to get games because there was no internet. So
people found ways and means of getting Amiga
of course.
games.
Well, what happened was you had publisher, you had wholesale importers and mail order companies. One of which was called Special Reserve, which was the biggest in Europe.
Sure.
And so you joined their club, and you got discounted games you'd send away for them by post. You'd phone up and they'd come by post. And you got magazines as well if you joined their special clubs, subscribing game clubs. So I subscribed, and the magazines were shit as well. So I thought I can do that better. So I applied for a deputy editor's position on one of their magazines.
Yeah.
And that's how I got into it all professionally.
Almost as famous as your bandana. So hang on, was the bandana an attempt to not be cool?
You know, the bandana was an attempt to be cool, but it wasn't very cool, was it really?
Well, you know, I mean, it was of its time, and I think we all have those sorts of things that we did back then. And some of my clothing mistakes back in the 90s were pretty shocking. But you were the guy. You were the guy within the bandana, much like John Romero's hair that has a man attached to it.
Well, what happened was
essentially sentient.
What happened was I went around about that era, the early 90s. Paul Gascoigne was a great football player and an icon as well, and he had this haircut with this really straight fringe, like a Roman fringe, and we'd all had it and got sick of it. It went out of fashion, so I wanted to grow it out. But as anyone knows, when you grow your hair out, it looks shite for ages. Yeah. So I had series 2 of Games Master, the film, so I put a bandana on because bandanas were also being worn at the end of the 90s with the whole seed thing, and so I wore the bandana on the show, and whilst we were filming, director Cameron Caster came down my earpiece and he said, by the way, the bandana looks great, keep it on for the whole series. So I said, okay, I've got shit hair, I don't mind wearing a bandana for a whole series. So I did, and then after that, Jane Hewlin came to me and she said, don't get rid of the bandana, it's a trademark, you know, you'll be recognised for it, keep the bandana, never get rid of a original and instantly recognisable trademark. She was very experienced, so I kept it. But you'll notice, anybody that watched the shows will have noticed through various episodes, like in the review sections and that, I'd film them without the bandana on because I was desperate to get rid of the bloody thing. And then people would say to me, "Oh, you didn't wear the bandana." It's like here today, so many people over social media got the message. 2 messages I got. One message is, will you be wearing a bandana? And the other message was, will you be playing Mario 64? So, you know, those are the 2 messages I got.
The original 2 questions. I'm sorry I sent them.
Yeah.
but I mean, Games Master evolve over the time. I suppose, okay, I won't tell you what my favourite series of Games Master was, but what was yours from a theming perspective?
Favourite series?
Yeah. Or favourite theme?
The whole thing.
Potentially games have an opportunity to be on TV. You know, how did that kind of conversation?
No, games. Jane Hewland famously watched her son playing Duck Hunt one day and decided there was a market, maybe a youth phenomenon about to happen with video gaming. And she let it be known that she was setting up wanted to start a video games TV show.
Yeah.
But she knew nothing about video games, so she needed video games experts. And a lot of the softcos knew me by then, and they recommended me to her. She invited me down to her offices in Canary Wharf, Isle of Dogs, and I went down there and she gave me the job to help set up Games Master as part of the 5-man team.
Because I think kind of gaming or computer TV programs up until that point have been fairly staid. I remember the days of Micro Live with Fred Harris, and this was literally like, BBC Micros. It wasn't the most exciting thing in the world.
No.
And then we had First Class with Debbie Greenwood. As a young boy, I certainly remember Debbie Greenwood presenting that show. But there wasn't really anything. I mean, I suppose Channel 4 were coming off the back of their kind of Network 7. They're slightly that kind of youth angle thing. So there was the perfect
more
place.
youthy then.
Yeah.
And Jane Hewland, I think she'd worked with, I can't remember the other Jane Gold, the one that was on Celebrity Big Brother, the ginger head. You'd worked with her anyway, and they were quite an edgy couple, and she liked to take risks. And she'd recently done some health show with John Fashanu and the Volkswagen.
That sounds like an Alan Partridge.
I know, the Volkswagen model, Paula Hamilton, I think it was, and they'd done like a fashion thing. Yeah, quite nice to watch.
Yeah.
So they had an edgy reputation, and Channel 4 got behind them, and we had a very small budget, and we didn't know what the hell we were doing because there was no precedent for what we were doing.
Yeah.
Did
you get any sort of remit, or this is too far, or?
Not really. First day I turned up at Hewland. The producer and director were both very young. Cameron McAllister, as he's said in an article recently about behind the scenes at Games Master, Jane Hewland thought he had a degree in filmmaking, and he didn't. So he didn't tell her he didn't. So he'd never really directed a TV show before. So I'd never worked on a TV show before. We were all really young. We didn't know what we were doing. I mean, my first couple of weeks there, I phoned up a lot of friends. Oh, that's better, isn't it? I phoned up a couple of friends in the games industry and organised some prizes, some arcade machines, free holidays, that kind of thing. And I thought I was doing great. And I went to Jane, and he got me all these great prizes for the winners. And I knew nothing of Channel 4's laws and licensing laws and the value of prizes you were allowed to have. And all had to be scratched. We didn't know what we were doing, so we had to come up with a prize that had no value other than to the gamers, and things like that. We made it up as we went along, literally.
Yeah, I think in those days, from what I was heard, there were always lots of prizes being given away, and if you ever got 4 things in from the BBC, it would be like, keep 1, give 3 away. It was quite a good.
I don't know about that.
Quite a good racket in those days. But if we just flick on, Steve, sorry, just.
That's okay.
So this is where we are sitting talking about obviously the famous Games Master TV show, and for me it was one of the things. It was an absolute staple. It was at kind of 6 o'clock. It was straight after me and my mates would be playing consoles. We had the Amiga at that point, and there was actually an outlet for this stuff. And it was before the internet. This was still very formative years for gaming, and it was pretty much the only game in town for news outside of magazines. So it must have been great, but you were standing on that kind of jumping off point for something which obviously you loved anyway.
It was astounding. It was astounding. Like I said, we didn't know what we were doing, and we went and saw various things, and we were interviewing various presenters, but we didn't know what we wanted. I mean, Patrick Moore, the Games Master, was supposed to be a child. We were interviewing, we were screen testing children. So really, we were coming up with the first son in the Teletubbies, if you like. So we were coming up with that, but we couldn't find. We knew that we had to have a Games Master who was a Games Master, and we couldn't get a child with that level of authority over an adult presenter. So. We then found a grown-up that looked like a child when you put his head in a bubble. And Patrick Moore had that quirk.
We just assumed that this kind of hedonistic lifestyle and you have the opportunity to be stood next to people from the game Street Racer that I'm sure you just didn't understand what was going on there. Danny Bear, who was a big celebrity back in that time, very lucky.
Wondering why she stood in the middle of Oxford Street on a Saturday with a guy with no shirt on.
I'm sure he's not.
And a hanky on his head.
Yeah. But it was, you know, there was a huge amount of adoration. What was it like at that point? Because I mean, I guess you would be asked to kind of rock up at loads of events.
It was incredible. Like I say, the downside of it was the market was mainly young boys, so you didn't get many young girls come along. So it wasn't super good for being a young man. But it wasn't like that. I'm going to sound, please. I've been misunderstood over the years because I do act a bit cocky. But I'm not trying to be cocky here now. I'm trying to be factual. It wasn't like that for everybody. You know, because magazines were so big, because the internet was still in its infancy, and because games were, I believe, like the new punk, in that when punk music came around in the 70s, parents didn't understand what the kids were listening to. They didn't get it and they hated it, so they wanted it stopped because they didn't get it. Video games were the same. When we all started sitting in our bedrooms all the time coding and playing games, parents didn't understand it. It's bad for you, it's bad. And so we were kind of like nerdy punks. So, you know, we were like the next wave of punks. But when you worked for a magazine, that kind of elevated you to kind of almost legendary status. You had people like Jazz Rignall and things like that. And people and the games players idolised them because that was the only place you could get the information. So you were feeding them. So your word was like gospel. If you said a game was good, they went out and bought it. You know, and the big companies like the Virgins and people of this world, you know, they were throwing things at you. You know, parties, trips to America, things like that, because they wanted you to be their friend. You know, that's how PR works. But it didn't happen for everyone because we were still seen as nerdy, largely, except the whole image thing, the bandana thing, the games animal thing. What I was trying to do, and what people didn't realise at the time was, my argument was, I recognised that the games industry was never going to reach its full potential until the mainstream media had people they could talk to. Because when something big happened in the games industry or the games world, they couldn't call up Lara Croft, they couldn't get Sonic in, they couldn't get Mario or Crash Bandicoot over for an interview. The mainstream media had no one to go to, magazines had no one to talk to, news programs had no one to bring in to interview. So, as far as people who didn't play games go, we were all invisible, they didn't care. You know, this multi-billion-dollar industry was growing, this youth phenomenon was happening, but no one gave a shite unless they actually played video games. We were all invisible. So, with the games animal persona, what I was trying to do, by calling myself a name, by wearing a bandana, by wearing leather trousers, by doing the TV shows, was I was trying to be something that other people had heard of so they could come to. So I started getting hired. Virgin hired me. I travelled around the country and opened a lot of stores with Richard Branson. I presented the TV Hits Awards. Company magazine's readers voted me one of the 50 most eligible bachelors. The Independent did a 5-page feature on me. All these kind of things started happening for me. It wasn't happening for others. And what I was hoping was everybody else was going to do it as well. We were all going to become... Yeah.
This is why we just put this up.
We were all going to become famous. This is what I wanted. We'd all be famous. The games industry would become huge. And all of us would have a real good time, a really big party on the back of this phenomenon. But no one else did it. Everyone just kind of hated me for it. And who does he think he is? He's such a big head. You know, his ego's out of control and all of that. And I wasn't trying to just do it for myself. I wanted everyone else to do it, but no one did. No one else did.
But it's really interesting. So I had some sort of background in the early 90s in the sort of dance music industry, and everyone really immediately realised that there's nothing very interesting about, if you'd ever watched the Pet Shop Boys on TV, it was actually quite a boring look. And then people like Erasure started to do kind of wild things, and Andy Bell would be extravagant, and then the Prodigy came. Your famous time at THQ,
yeah,
and then the magazines and
Games World magazine was the one I did. I didn't do Games Master. That was
sorry, Games World. Sorry,
that's my mistake. Yeah, but Games World was Games World magazine was nice. It was I'd started doing the show, and I went to the publisher, the owner of Paragon, and I said to them, look, you know, Games Master's doing big numbers for Future. You know, we need a multi-format magazine. I can get the license for Games World. So off we went to Games World, We got the Games World magazine, and then they gave me complete freedom to pick my team, which was great. So I went out and poached a team. It was like sort of like a rubbishy Games magazine version of Mourinho when he first went to Chelsea. I kind of had a pick of who I wanted.
Yeah,
so we put this really good team together. Top left-hand corner was the original team, and Abe Price and Nick Walkland, who were either side of me in that picture. You know, we still talk on Facebook and that today. We had great times. We pulled some great stunts. We were spoiled rotten by the industry. I think our greatest stunt possibly was we needed a really big second issue, and Mortal Kombat 2 was coming out. It was going to be the big game. 'Cause Mortal Kombat had been good. You know, love it or hate it, it had a real buzz about it. Mortal Kombat 2 was bigger and better. But CMVG magazine or Mean Machines, one of them, I think it was Mean Machines, they had tied up the exclusive for the game, for the cover. They had the first UK look at it. No internet, so if a magazine had the exclusive, it was an exclusive. So what we did was we sent a claim. We were making the game. We falsified a magazine schedule, and we sent it to Acclaim, knowing that they'd see our front cover was out after Mean Machines' front cover, so there was no problem in inviting us up and letting us photograph the game and play the game. So we went up, and then we came out a week earlier than Mean Machines, and there was shit to pay, but we sold.
And you know, there was a lot of work. I mean, a DVD Monthly, X-Gen, Power Station, Sega Pro, they were all...
Is being made. Season 4 Games World was shit. Poor, terribly poor. It was only on for 15 minutes a day. It was shot in some kind of Inca environment, which is like, what the hell does that have to do with anything? Andy Collins, who's a very good presenter and had been the warm-up man for the show for years, was the main presenter. But there's nothing he could do with 15 minutes, and I felt sorry for him because you know it was one of his big breaks, and you know he did really well with it. But I just wasn't feeling it. And one day a kid was playing one of the Videators, and the Videator complained his joypad wasn't working properly, so they reshot it, and then the Videator won. And I just thought, I'm just not feeling it anymore. I just don't like it. And my girlfriend at the time had just become pregnant with my daughter. Yeah. She's now my wife. I just thought, I can keep on doing this, travelling away to game challenges and opening shops and shooting shows for Sky, or I could just go and bring up my daughter. So I went back down to Exeter, where I was working for Rapide, and they were having financial troubles as well. And then when they went down as well, I started my own publishing company called Predator, and I launched DVD Monthly, which ran for 7 years, which was a movie magazine, deliberately because I wanted to distance myself from games. I felt the games industry was changing, and I was becoming irritated by it changing, which was getting me in trouble, and I felt the games industry was sick of me. I'd done the thing, and I just felt the games industry was getting irritated by me. Yeah. So that was that. So this now today, coming here today, is great because my daughter's now 18, so I feel I've done well raising her, and so now I can come back and play some games again, which is great.
Yeah, that's cool, and it is great to be able to have you come here, and it's really interesting to hear the stories because you know you guys kind of we live vicariously through everyone who was involved in either magazines or TV and stuff, and maybe that that whole thing has reignited something. You might think that you might kind of expand that somehow. We'd love you to come on the Retro Asylum podcast and sort of talk a little bit more. We're a little time constrained today, but hopefully everyone has enjoyed that little kind of window into that world that we were all really envious of you guys. So
I hope so. I'm worried about coming back because 18 years, and I've just done a few internet interviews and everything. It's like, who's going to really give a monkeys? But it's nice to see people turning up to listen to me. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, we'll just kind of round it up. We will do some questions, but ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause to Dave Conger. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I think we'll probably have time for just a couple of minutes, but if anyone has any questions, Sweeney's roaming with the radio mic, so if you have a question, please put your hand up.
Hands up.
There's got to be one. There we go.
Hello, Dave.
Hiya.
That drawing of Keith Flynn, that was on that picture just then, is that your drawing, or was that something you were just standing in front of? It was just before that.
Oh, the Keith Flint one?
Yeah, is that your drawing?
No, sorry.
Oh.
I want to say yes, but no, it's something a customer gave me.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I've got it in the games room. I thought.
Big Prodigy fan.
Yeah,
So I don't know what's going on behind me. I didn't know that was there. That's
Yeah.
my studio.
I've got it hanging up in my games room, and I thought that'd be a weird coincidence if it was your drawing. But yeah.
No, that's up in the tattoo studio.
You could have just claimed it.
You could have made my day. Just lied. Nah, cheers, mate. Nice one.
Does anybody else have any questions? Oh, that's one. There's in the gentleman at the front.
Yeah.
Hi Dave.
Hi.
Was Amiga your first computer, or did you have one before that?
No, I had a Spectrum and I had a C64. And then before that, it was just games machines. You know, like the Atari machine with the cartridges in. I can't remember the exact number on it. I'm saying 2600. I'm not sure if that was right. And then the original Pong things that you bought from Woolworths, you know, with the games on and paddleboard things. So it was all of that really, but the Amiga was the first one I bought properly, if you like. The other ones were kind of extensions of computer clubs at school, and you sit in your mate's room waiting for 15 minutes for the tape cassette to download from Zap or whatever, you know, you just sat there, and then his mum would come in and slam the door and the whole thing would be ruined. You have to start again and just to play Lunar Lander, you know. It's just but I went away and went to college and went to art school and did honours degree at Bath Academy, and didn't play on computer much, so the Amiga then was me getting back into it when I came back out, and it was Amiga or ST at the time, wasn't it? And the Amiga was a much nicer looking machine, I think, personally.
And it had a better version of Kickoff 2.
Kickoff 2.
So,
that was my game.
Yeah.
Love those games.
Yeah, hello. The gentleman there?
So you've been very busy.
Yes.
Anyway, have you had time to play anything recently, new or old? And if so, what have you been playing?
I have to admit, it is something I'm a little bit ashamed of, you know, not playing so much now, because now I run a tattoo studio and things like that, you know, I'm drawing and painting a lot, and I do play the latest FIFAs whenever they come out, obviously, you have to, don't you? I like Age of Empires, I played all the way through, I enjoyed all those games. What was the Dragon one? Recently, Dragon Age, yeah, played all of those, love the Dragon Age games. But they take up a lot of your time, don't they? But now I'm absolutely obsessed. The thing I play with, which is a bit of a sad dad thing to do, I guess. No insult meant to sad dads, but it's iPad gaming, you know, and War Dragons I play constantly. Love War Dragons on the iPad. And the thing with the iPad as well, and with War Dragons, is I'm playing globally, you know, sort of like I'm on the line and talking to people from all over the world. But it sounds silly, that's great for me, because when Xbox Live and that came out, and Sony came out live and everything, I couldn't play those games live. And it sounds like poor me, but once people found out what my tag was, I would get hammered. You know, everybody wanted to be Dave Perry, which because of the image I've built for myself and everything. But that makes gaming tedious. Do you know what I mean? There's no fun. There's no fun in playing games if it's not fun. It's no fun if every time you log on, some kid's going to be screaming at you down some headphones, or some guys from up country are going to be just trying to kick the arse off you, so then they can then put on their social media what they scored against you that night. It takes the fun out of gaming. So I couldn't play online for years, but I'm enjoying playing online through my iPad, incognito.
The idea is the bandana, is it? Is that what your kind of tag, the bandana, is it?
Bandana.
Don't say what your
idea
idea is.
no.
We could have
No, but I couldn't play for years because it's just you become a sculp, and everybody wants to beat you because they want to tell everybody they beat you, which is no fun. Especially as you get, when I was younger. Okay, this is arrogance for you. When I was younger, my raison d'etre would be, if someone wants to beat me, they've got to pay. Pay to play me, pay to beat me. So someone's got to pay for me to go somewhere, put me up in a hotel, I'll turn up the next day, I'll play, and then they can beat me. So I wasn't going to have that. Now, the way I describe it is it's like putting Mike Tyson in a ring with a bunch of younger boxers, and Mike Tyson's fat and out of condition, and they're all going to knock the shit out of him. It's great fun for the younger boxers because they get to say they knocked Mike Tyson out. But for Mike Tyson, it's a bit shit, isn't it? It'd be like me today, you know. I go up on stage now and play all the winners of the challenges. They're going to whoop my ass because I'm not going to know which button does what, you know. And it's good for them because they get to say, "Oh, I beat Dave Perry off Games Master." But for me, I got to stand there and take the whoopings all day and go home feeling like a right idiot.
You want to get a coach load of 40 kids who have no idea what's going on.
Exactly.
I'd say that's the
Thank you. That's the blueprint, isn't it? That's what I should have done.
So I think unless there's any other questions, just one more before we bring things to a close.
On the Virtua Fighter 2 video, at the end of that, you had a couple or at least one special, expert from the UK. Was that really a special fighter, or was that just a random kid you pulled again? It did pull a couple of rounds.
I don't remember, but I don't remember there being anyone special there at all. Maybe there was. Maybe I don't remember, but I'm not sure. There was. No. It was all a little bit. Yeah. But there was a few of those. I don't know if anyone's. Ellie somebody or other wrote an article recently. She did an interview of all of us behind the scenes at Games Master, and a few of them revealed that it is television. A lot of the time they don't care about. This is why I came into conflict so much with Games Master in the end. Is that they just didn't care about the games as much as I did. It was about the TV show. And getting the TV show done and getting the best shots and making sure. I've seen people do challenges on there and they get so far and die, and then the director will tell them to go again because later on in that level it's visually more impressive and they wanted to get to that level, so these people were going over and over again.
On the Doom challenge I saw that as well.
Yeah.
You can clearly see there was like a god mode, and then they were getting hits and the health wasn't going down. You could see the edit to the bar at the bottom. I was like, what is this?
It happened a lot because eventually you had two fields. When we set up Games Master, I wanted, maybe naively, wanted to be a show about video games, which it was kind of. But then you have people who are non-video game people making the show. At first it didn't matter because they were really quirky and they just wanted it to be funny and we were all just having a great time. But later on it seemed to become more about being a comedy show than it was a video game show, and that was a problem for me. No one's mentioned it kindly. Thank you. The Christmas special that happened, but if you watch how few questions anybody gets right on gaming in that Christmas special in season 6, it's pitiful. Those were the games experts, and they're not answering any of the questions correctly. So it became a little bit sad for me. I think at the end of that Christmas special where you see me stood off to one side from the other guys, all right, I'm having a major sulk. But that kind of was the divide that had happened in the show. To my mind, I was about gaming and everybody else was over the other side having a lovely time. It's just because I was keen. I think it was season 4 or whatever. If you watch some of those, you see Dominic in the background is making faces behind my back whilst I'm describing the challenge to the camera. Like, what the hell? Can you get more cowardly than that? It's only because someone told me that I knew he was there. But it was, it should have been about the games. I wanted it to be more about the games.
And Dave, that was why it was great to have you here, because we followed the stuff that you've done. We know there's a lot more than the stuff that probably appears on the top 50 worst TV moments and all of that kind of thing.
Yeah, every month.
But there's so much more, and we've really enjoyed you being able to sort of tell some of those stories, and we look forward to maybe doing something with you in the future. It would be awesome. But ladies and gentlemen, once more, another round of applause for Dave.
Spy versus Spy. How'd you get on?
Alright, yeah, not too bad.
It's extra.
Just got to pick up on the Master System, yeah. Just going to film a bit of Harry.
I'm the muck. You're the muck.
Weird down there.
Muck against Ian. Nice to meet you.
I can't see that, you see.
The muck on the right hand side, Ian on the left hand side.
Do you know when it's coordinated? No.
No, you don't know.
Hopefully picking different characters.
You get a vibrate thing, I know, so I presume it's recording now because it was vibrating when I pressed it, so hopefully.
The monk is Ryu, Ian is Ken. Here we go, fight! Ken being played by Ian on the left, Ryu being played by the monk. At the moment Ryu's taken more hits. Trying to leap in on Ken, Ken using a high kick to keep him at bay. Ian and Ken taking the most hits at the moment. Ryu and the Muck winning the first round easily. Round one to the Muck.
I didn't realise that was the time. And Steve.
Here we go, straight in. No quarter given. Go on, Ian. Even again, the Muck playing on the right-hand side is Ryu. Ian is Ken. Ken taking the more hits at the moment. Ian backing off. The Muck coming in with the high kicks again. Oh, couple of cheap low kicks from Ken and Ian. Oh, Ken's in a bad way. He's going to take one more big hit from Ryu and he's gone. But Ken's fighting back. Ian and Ken's fighting back. Ken's still in there. Whoa! Look at the energy bars. 1-1. It couldn't get closer than that. The Muck's side. Ian is playing as Guile. Spencer is playing as Chun-Li. And he's frantic with Chun-Li. He's using all of her speed and agility, and straight away Spencer has smashed Ian. Come on, Ian. Chun-Li's lost most power at the moment, so Guile's winning at the moment. Ian and Guile taking more power off Chun-Li. Chun-Li's using her agility, leaping in, trying the low kicks. It's pretty frantic, this. Oh, and Chun-Li's been smashed onto her head by Guile. Guile's got to catch her with one more big move. Beautiful. That round goes to Ian and Guile. This is the decider. Ian on the left is Guile. Spencer on the right is Chun-Li. At the moment, Guile's taken all the energy off Chun-Li. Chun-Li was dominant in the first round, but Guile is well in control now. Be patient, don't go charging in. Just needs to get one more big hit on Chun-Li, and that's it. Waited for the kick. Lovely. Ian and Guile through to the next round.
Right, so we're back from Revival 2017. What a weekend it was. It's actually a few days later now. First of all, it's a very, very warm Thursday night. I think it's about 25 degrees. I'm absolutely sweating bucket loads. I'm not running a marathon, honestly. I'm just absolutely sweating bucket loads. And I've got man flu as well, so that's why I look, I'm feeling a bit sorry for myself. I look rough as anything. But anyway, we're back from Revival 2017, and what a weekend it was. What a cracking time had by many people, I think. I'll just quickly run you through what happened. I went down on the Friday night, stayed over last year at the parking next door, the Radisson. Stayed over again, took the other half with me. Had a few drinks in the bar, you know, watched a few people milling around, recognised a few faces from the Revival team. And I was sort of, had a little feeling that we might be seeing one of the biggest guests that Revival have had probably ever. Of course, Dave the Games Animal Perry. I actually spotted him in the bar about 10:30 on the Friday evening. Excuse me wiping my sweat off. It's really, really hot tonight in this flat. It's absolutely roasting. Anyway, went over to Dave Perry. I saw him, he was just finishing his drink. He was sitting on his own. I didn't really want to hassle him, but I just went over and sort of said, you know, kind of a big fan. Would you mind having a selfie? He was great. We had a couple of selfies, and I actually had a 10-minute chat with him, sat there next to him. Really down-to-earth guy. Not the impression that the media portrayed of him. Not what I thought he was going to be like at all. He was a really nice bloke. We chatted about a few things with the gaming thing, why he's come back, you know, etc. Games Master of course, and he was really sound. Made me feel at ease and took the time out to talk to me. And you know, I had a chat, told him I was collecting Mega Drive games, and asked him a question about Lakers versus Celtics. Did it exist? Well, not wanting to quote Dave really, but he did say they only had it on import at the magazine he was working for. So I think that sort of answers the question that it wasn't a full UK release with hundreds or thousands of copies. Because if it was, there'd still be copies out there, wouldn't it? But anyway, he's a really nice bloke, so I had a chat with him and a few more drinks. Then we went on down, I'm still sweating so, but I feel like I literally look like I run a marathon. we went down to Revival. Well, I went down to Revival on the Saturday morning for the early entry at 9:30. Had a look around, picked up a game I really needed, did a little bit of filming. It was still pretty quiet early on. I waited for Bad Fuck Up UK to turn up. I met up with 2T, Cybersnake, had a little wander round. It was a much better event, don't get me wrong. There was a lot more traders there, like your big names like Retro Plushy Games, Sore Thumb were there. It was a lot better. They'd listened to the feedback from last year and got the traders bit right, I think. So really, really well done there. Seemed to me be the same amount of games. I know the limited space in the room, but I found it very, very hard to get on anything. In fact, I didn't get on anything, if I'm honest. I don't know whether it's because Dave Perry was there, but it was absolutely rammed. We actually went to the question and answer talk with Dave Perry, which was very interesting. I'm just recording this video now. I haven't actually seen how the footage has come out, but it was very, very interesting. I've never done a question and answer before. We sat at the back, but it was a really good view, very interesting, lots of laughs, very informative, and it was a good hour to spend, you know, doing something different to the game show. Because it was so busy, I don't know, a quick pint in the bar, but because it was so busy, we decided to go back down to a little trip out to GameSmart, me and Bad Fuck Up. I don't think I filmed any of it because it's been done several times before, but I did have a little pick up from there. And then we went back to the game show in time to see Dave Perry doing the Street Fighter 2 tournament on stage, which was really interesting and great to see. Looked like he really enjoyed himself, and I think I have got some footage of that. You've probably already seen it actually, because I'm just recording this before I edit the video to put it together. So yeah, so that was that really. So all in all, it was a really, really good weekend. Yeah, so I'm just going to run. I'm trying to think if I've actually forgotten anything. I don't think I have. I'm trying to run through it without having a coughing fit, because I have got a little bit of a man flu at the moment. So anyway, there's not many pickups really, because obviously I'm getting to that stage of the Mega Drive collection, and because of the money situation, and that's why I've been quiet lately. It's a very expensive game collecting. It does catch up with you when you keep blowing hundreds of pounds at games events. So yeah, I'm going to run through the pickups quickly. There's only 3 of them, but the first one is courtesy of Bad Fuck Up UK. It's one I needed on the Mega Drive, so it's sort of maintaining the 100% Mega Drive pickups on every video, I think, so far. We should be doing well. So this one is True Lies. Bit of Arnie there. I'm going to show you inside as well. That was £32.50. Bad Fuck Up UK picked that up for me beforehand, so I knew I was going to get a purchase. I only picked up one game from Revival, but I'm going to show you the GameSmart pickup next. It is a Master System game. It cost me £15, and I do need it, and I thought, yeah, let's get another one off the Master System while we're there. It is classic on the Mega Drive for me, but I've never played it on Master System yet, but I've got it now. It is Streets of Rage. As always, not mint, but complete. You can't be too picky. I like to be complete, but you know. Anyway, we're going on to the final pickup now. Now, I saw this pretty early on when I got in Revival. I went over to Retro Plush. He's got an amazing collection, amazing set of games. And to be honest, once back early in the day, I'd have been in heaven with all those games. But unfortunately, I think he had a couple I needed, but they didn't have manuals. I think Vintage Gamer had the U's with no manual. This game has eluded me for a long time. I first saw it back at, I think it was Retro Gaming World in Stafford, quite early on in the collection, when sort of 10, 20, 30 quid games were my kind of limit then. So it scared me off. I think it was 63 or 65 quid. And to the day, I've regretted not buying it. It's shot up in value since, as all the games have. Maybe a little bit overpriced too, I'm not sure, but I've certainly seen it for not much less. It was for £100, but I managed to get £10 off and get it for 90. It is complete. It's another one off the list. It is Castlevania. You can see the £100 tag on. Castlevania by Konami. Like Castlevania The New Generation is probably the full name for it. It's not mint. The structure manual's got a bit of wear, but you know, like I say, it's a lot better than one I saw Sore Thumb selling for about £80. There you go, Castlevania, £90. It's a lot better than one I saw Sore Thumb selling at one show. He wanted 80 and the manual's completely torn to bits. So I'm pleased to finally get that. So I haven't done a top up on the Master System, but we're down to 31 Sega Mega Drive games needed now, pal. I'm sort of thinking about whether to cut the European or foreign releases out of it and just go for UK, because that's originally what I set out to do. So I need to have a look at that list and see how many are going to come off that list. I know maybe the likes of Echo Journey or Fatal Fury 2 will come off. I've got to look at what the money constraints and what I originally set out to do. If you watch some of my earlier videos, I think it was UK PAL. So that's pretty much it. So I'm done. I'm going to try and put this video together in an hour or two before bed, and hope you've enjoyed watching the footage. I hope it come out. It was really good to see Bad Fuck Up UK again, 2T, like I say, Cybersnake. Excellent to meet Dave Perry, really nice guy. Hopefully we'll see him at some future events. I just want to say thanks to Craig and the team at Revival for a great weekend. I think everybody had a great time, and it's sort of given me the buzz back a bit now. I wasn't going to get to play Expo in July. Funds are very, very tight, but I'm trying to like worm my way into there's any way I can do it. We'll have to see. So that's me done for the time being. Hope you enjoyed the video. Keep it real, YouTubers. Adios. Looking past Walsall Bescot Stadium, using my trusty new glasses, so I don't know how it's coming out, but I'm just going to try and join the queue and hopefully get in and buy some games. You can see the signs for Revival just in front, and the queue should be somewhere underground under here, if I remember right from last year. Here we go, is the queue for Revival 2017.